Just weeks after Jeffrey Epstein was found injured in his cell, today a stunning turn of events. The accused sex trafficker awaiting trial found nearly lifeless in jail today, then declared dead soon after of an apparent suicide. Epstein was found at 6:30 this morning at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan. He hanged himself, according to law enforcement sources, and now 2 federal investigations have been launched into how that could happen. We have team coverage for you. We begin with Chief Investigative Reporter Jonathan Dienst, who broke the news that Epstein was recently taken off suicide watch, sparking a lot of questions tonight, Jonathan.
Yeah, he was alone in his cell overnight. One question now, how many minutes or hours was it from the last spot check by a guard to the time Epstein was discovered dying? Jeffrey Epstein's body now in the hands of the city's medical examiner, who will detail the exact cause of death. Multiple officials say it was suicide by hanging. He was found in his cell at the Metropolitan Correctional Center around 6:30 this morning and taken first to the prison infirmary with efforts to resuscitate him as an ambulance was called. Epstein then taken to the emergency room and pronounced dead around 7:37. Attorney General William Barr issued a statement saying he was appalled. Mr. Epstein's death raises serious questions that must be answered. Epstein's apparent suicide this morning comes after a previous apparent suicide attempt on July 23rd, where officials were investigating if the attempt was real or a ruse to try to get a transfer. After a mental health evaluation, 3 sources say in the past week or so, he was taken off suicide watch and returned to his cell in a special housing unit. This former prison warden says he has concerns.
My humble opinion is that Epstein should have remained on suicide watch. I would hypothesize that Epstein was able to convince or manipulate a mental health professional into believing that he was no longer a threat to himself.
Epstein was being held without bail amid charges he engaged in sex trafficking of minors, some as young as 14. The alleged abuse taking place in his mansions in New York, Florida, and elsewhere. Just yesterday, more allegations and documents unsealed in an old lawsuit alleging rich and powerful men, including some top politicians, could have been aware of Epstein's behavior, with his employees and friends allegedly helping to recruit alleged victims. U.S. Attorney Jeffrey Berman issued a statement with a message to the alleged victims. Our investigations of the conduct charged, which included a conspiracy count, remains ongoing. Epstein's defense team says they are saddened by the death. One Epstein lawyer, speaking only for himself, blamed what he called reckless prison officials, breathless reporters, pandering politicians, and overzealous prosecutors. All seem to have a share of Mr. Epstein's blood on their hands. All should be ashamed of themselves. The Attorney General ordering 2 investigations, one by the FBI and another by the Inspector General, to try to learn what happened and what more could or should have been done to prevent Epstein's apparent suicide. In the newsroom, I'm Jonathan Dienst. Adam, back to you.